Lesson number 16, the Rebbe's own words. Rabbi Yochanan told, I was once traveling in a ship. Oh yeah, and I saw this fish that stuck its head out of the water. Its eyes looked like two moons. It spouted water from its two nostrils like two rivers of Surah. I saw this fish. This refers to the tzaddik who is called a fish, as known, that stuck its head out of the water. Its eyes looked like two moons. It spouted water from its two nostrils like two rivers of Surah. For it is impossible for a tzaddik, nach meuman, to constantly keep his thoughts absorbed in the supreme wisdoms. He must sometimes take leave in order to deal with mundane affairs. As our sages said, occasional idling from torah study is its preservation. When it stuck its head out of the water, thus refers to when the tzaddik, nachman, meuman, takes leave of the supreme wisdoms, then its eyes looked like two moons. Opening the eyes is a reference to wisdom, as in the eyes of both of them were opened. When the tzaddik, nachman, meuman, is absorbed in his wisdom, his eyes are in the category of the sun. And when he takes leave of his supreme wisdom, this is like the setting of the sun. When the sun sets, his eyes are like the moon. For the moon only shines when the sun sets. This is alluded to in our eyes shine like the sun and the moon. Sometimes like the sun when we are bound to wisdom, and sometimes like the moon when we take leave of being absorbed in wisdom. It spouted water from its two nostrils, alluded to the two messiahs whom the Gentiles will seek out and be drawn to. As the verse says, all the nations will stream to him. Thus, like two rivers of Surah refers to the Gentiles, since they worship idolatry. As the verse says, Saharu, they veered swiftly from the path. They are embodied in two nations, Esav and Ishmael, Esau and Ishmael, by way of the two messiahs. Esav and Ishmael, by way of the two messiahs, represented by the two nostrils corresponding to the breath of our nostrils, the Messiah of God. They will be redeemed and be drawn to them like rivers to learn God's word. These two nations, Esav and Ishmael, and Yishmael, are the two clouds that cover the eyes, preventing them from always shining like the sun. For this reason, the tzaddik, nanach, nachma, meuman, must occasionally abstain from his devekis, so that the two nations, Esav and Ishmael, do not overpower his eyes and completely overwhelm his wisdom. For the two messiahs, whose well springs will spread forth, all the nations will attain a clear tongue, at which time the verse will be fulfilled. The light of the moon will be like the light of the sun. Through the two messiahs. The end of lesson number 16. Through the two messiahs whose well springs will spring red for through the two messiahs whose well springs will spread forth, all the nations will attain a clear tongue. At which time the verse will be fulfilled. The light of the moon will be like the light of the sun, and then the tzaddik, nanach, nachman, meuman, will no longer need to take leave, and then the tzaddik will no longer need to take, and then the tzaddik, will no longer need to take leave of his vacants, nanach, nachman, meuman.